My name is Sarah, and 3 weeks ago I married the man of my dreams. But I didn't know that a woman was coming with it, who believes that my house is her personal hotel, and I'm just an unfortunate hindrance on her way to my husband's money. She thought I was a cute girl who would tolerate her antics. But she forgot that I work as an eviction attorney, and today I'm going to arrange the most expensive move for her in her life. My husband Mark is a wonderful guy, but he has one huge problem: his mother, Barbara. Barbara is a typical drama queen. She always gets sick when we need to go on a date, and she always runs out of money as soon as Mark gets a bonus. Before the wedding, I set a strict condition: no keys to our new house for relatives. We bought this house with my premarital money, inheritance from my grandmother. So legally, Mark had nothing to do with it. He agreed. But at the wedding itself, Barbara staged a scene. She was sobbing in the toilet, telling Mark that she feels abandoned. And Mark, this good fool, secretly gave her a spare set of keys, just in case she bursts the pipe. We flew to the Maldives for 2 weeks. I was happy. I didn't know that at that time Barbara had already called a truck with things. When we drove up to the house at 2 a.m., tired and tanned, my key did not fit the lock. I thought I got the wrong door. But then the door opened, and Barbara appeared on the threshold in my favorite silk pajamas. "Oh, you're back," she said, as if we came to visit her without an invitation. And I remodeled the interior a little here. Your old photos were so tasteless, I threw them away. I went inside and almost fell. My designer furniture was moved. My paintings have been replaced with her tasteless embroidery with cats. And in my bedroom stood her huge bed with a canopy. "Barbara, what are you doing here?" My voice trembled with rage. "Honey, I feel lonely in my apartment. And Mark said you'd be happy. I've already rented my flat for a year, so now we're one big family." I looked at Mark. He lowered his eyes. "Sarah, well, she has nowhere to go." "It's only for a couple of weeks," he muttered. "For a couple of weeks?" Barbara grinned. "I've already re-registered the delivery of my pension to this address. And Sarah, make me some tea, I didn't sleep well today." At that moment, something in me clicked. I didn't scream. I just smiled with the most sinister smile I was capable of. "Of course, Barbara. Get aside. You'll really like it here." In the morning, I woke up from the smell of burning. Barbara decided to cook breakfast and burned my expensive non-stick frying pan. "Oh, Sarah, you get up so late." "A good wife should feed her husband at 6 in the morning," she said, wiping her hands on my white towel. Mark was sitting at the table, guiltily stuck in the phone. "Mark," I said calmly, "your mother is right. We need rules. Barbara, since you're a guest here, here's your lease." I put a paper in front of her. Barbara laughed. "What's the rent?" "I'm your husband's mother. Legally, you are a tenant without a contract. In this state, this means that I can start the eviction process at any time. But I'm kind. Sign it, rent $1 per month. But you pledge not to touch my things and not to enter my bedroom." She signed without looking, considering it a formality. She did not know that it was written in small print. The tenant agrees to carry out any repair work at any time of the day. That same night at 3 a.m., the doorbell rang. It was a team of laborers whom I hired through acquaintances. "Get started, guys. Take off the floors in the living room and kitchen." "Right now," I commanded. The rumble of hammers woke up the whole neighborhood. Barbara jumped out into the corridor in a coiler. "What's going on?" "I'm trying to sleep." "Oh, sorry, Barbara." "Planned repair of pipes. You agreed to it in the contract. The work will last, well, about 2 weeks." The next day, I accidentally found a dangerous black mold that actually spilled soy sauce in her bedroom. "Oh my God, Barbara, it's deadly for your health." I made a scared face. "The special services should treat the room with chemicals. You'll have to sleep in the living room, on an inflatable mattress. Without pillows, they were also infected." 3 days later, Barbara looked like a zombie. There were no floors in the house. The workers were constantly making noise. And Wi-Fi broke. I just changed the password and hid the router. But Barbara was a tough nut. She decided to strike back. When I came back from work, I saw that she invited her friends from the knitting club. They sat on my boxes and drank my elite whiskey. "Sarah, we decided that this house is too big for two. My friend Gladys is also looking for housing. She will live in your office," Barbara said with a triumphant grin. I looked at Mark. He was silent. "Mark, this is your last chance. Choose. Either she's leaving now or you're leaving with her." "Sarah, don't be so cruel." He started. I nodded. "All right. Since you can't make a choice, I'll do it for you." I took out my phone and called the pest control service. But not for mold. I called them to seal the house. For complete fumigation. From termites, which I also invented. According to the law, not a soul should be in the house during this procedure for 72 hours. You have 15 minutes to pack your things. If you stay here, you'll suffocate. Barbara screamed. Mark tried to justify himself. But people in yellow, chemical protection suits, had already begun to pull a huge awning on the house. I was standing outside with a glass of wine and watching Barbara in one pajamas and with a cat under her arm, loading into Mark's car. "It's not over yet, bitch," she shouted from the window. "Oh, Barbara, this is just the beginning of the first act," I whispered, because while the house was sealed, I filed for divorce and a restraining order against Barbara for illegal penetration and damage to property. As long as the house was wrapped in a tent for fumigation, I didn't waste time. I hired a professional service to change locks and installed a video surveillance system with face recognition. But the most important thing is that I found the very apartment that Barbara allegedly rented out for a year. It turned out that she was just blatantly lying to Mark. The apartment was empty, but Barbara owed it for 3 months, and the collectors were about to throw her out. That's why she so desperately clung to my house. She didn't just miss her son, she was bankrupt. When 72 hours of processing expired, Mark brought Barbara back. She was already anticipating her return to my bedroom. But a surprise was waiting for them at the gate. 2 huge security guards and a bailiff. "What does that mean?" Barbara shouted. "Mark, do something!" Mark got out of the car. His face was gray with fatigue. "Sarah, we just want to pick up things. Your belongings are already in the container in the warehouse," I replied, going out on the porch. "Payment for the first month of the warehouse has been made. Here are the keys. And here's your gift, Mark." I handed him a folder. "These are documents for divorce and a restraining order in the name of Barbara. She is forbidden to approach this house and me closer than 100 meters. If she takes even a step onto my lawn, she'll go to jail." Barbara began to fight hysterically. "You can't do that? This is my son's house." "No, Barbara. This is my home. Bought with my money before marriage. And Mark is just a guest who couldn't protect his wife." At that moment, I pulled out my trump card. I turned on the recording from the voice recorder, which I hid in the living room on the first day of their invasion. On the recording, Barbara's voice clearly told her friend on the phone, "As soon as I survive this bitch from home, I'll make Mark rewrite it to me. He's spineless, he'll do whatever I say. And I'll sell her clothes on eBay." Mark froze. He looked at his mother as if he had seen her for the first time. Did you plan to survive, Sarah?" he whispered. You told me that you love her like a daughter. Oh, Mark, don't be an idiot. Barbara broke out. You deserve someone better than this bitch. Mark just got back in the car and covered his face with his hands. He finally realized that he destroyed his life for the woman who used him as a tool. It's been 6 months. The divorce passed quickly. My legal status helped speed up the process. Mark lives in a tiny studio and works 2 jobs to pay off the debts his mother has accumulated on his credit cards. And Barbara? Oh, she's all wonderful. The collectors still took away her apartment, and now she lives in a state shelter. She keeps calling Mark and demanding money, but he blocked her number. He seems to have finally grown his spine, but unfortunately, too late. Do you know what the main lesson I learned? Cheeky relatives are like mold. If you let them take root in your home, they will destroy the foundation of your life. Guys, it was a story about the 11th issue. I have a question for you that will divide the comments into 2 camps. Should I have forgiven Mark because he just loved his mother? Or did he deserve to be left with nothing for his betrayal? Write in the comments, forgive or justice. Let's see how many of you have been patient and how many are warriors. Don't forget to like it if you liked this legal spread. Subscribe. In the 12th issue, I will tell a story about a neighbor who started digging a tunnel under my fence and found there something he shouldn't have seen. With you was Storytime Secrets. Take care of your keys and your borders. Bye.